Real people, real celebrities, real talk.
Join the Breakfast Club. Blast off in your weekday morning, 6 to 10.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a legend in the building with us this morning.
That's right, the God Raekwon.
Raekwon.
What's happening?
Raekwon somehow got upstairs without even going through security.
Yeah, I don't even know how he got upstairs. We just looked out, he was there.
That's crazy. Yo, when I tell you so far, the day is perfect, man. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of snow, it ain't nothing, no.
You look like you had a little wake and bake this morning?
Yeah, you know. Try to put try to juice, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Oh, you juicing too?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you got to.
Like Envy be juicing every day.
You got to, though. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing to just drink a glass real quick. Bang, just throw it out the way.
I can't drink vegetables. I can only drink fruits. I have a problem with, like, kale.
We just got to throw a little bit in there and start off with a little bit. And then you just get used to it.
All right.
Little berries and all that.
Yeah.
Now, you asked for some fish and grits, though.
Word. Cheese on the plate.
You should know how to cook, though. You the chef. It ain't just music, right?
It ain't never just music. Music is just a platform.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a man, B.
Word.
You know.
He's the
chef.
chef.
You a man, I'm a man.
Now as a Wu-Tang fanatic, I got to, what's up with a better tomorrow, man? I need to know what's going on.
Raekwon holding up the process.
RZA said he got the album A Better Tomorrow. He said Ray hasn't come to drop no verses. The rumor is he's going to drop the Wu-Tang album without Raekwon. I can't see it.
Oh. All I can say is, like, it's business, you know. I would never put my family, first of all, you know, that's the mothership.
Mm-hmm.
Never, ever going to ever violate that. But at the same time, it's 20 years later, B, and business got to be done correctly.
Payment.
I want to be happy, you know what I mean? I want to do this album with harmony. I want to do it, most likely, I want to do it in the best way because, you know, brothers already said that's the last joint.
Right.
You know, when that right there was like, I found out like y'all found out. You know what I mean? I feel like it always be a lack of communication and the respect as men, as somebody, as people who built this thing together. You know, it wasn't just one cat that, you know, he masterminded, of course, you know, and I love him for that. And I'm always loyal because he came and grabbed me out the street, you know. But today, being a 40-year-old man and having 3 seeds and, you know, having to deal with taxes and this and that. Whenever I'm on the dance floor, it's business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's business. It ain't no disrespect. Don't hit me with the brotherhood because that's unconditional right there. Don't use that as a shield. And a lot of times it's like, you know, I watch them batter me and, you know, do certain things because I guess they feel like, yo, Ray's moving. We ain't in control of Ray, so Ray's gonna be the big problem.
Right.
You know, I'm running a business too. You know, I got a label thing going on. It's like, yo, my time is serious, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to build my artists and, you know, spread my legacy in a great way. I would never front on it, but if it ain't right and we ain't dealing with it on a righteous path, until it get right, my management got to tell me it's right.
Now,
is it a financial thing or is it a creative thing? Is it that financial?
Yeah, does he owe you
right?
money? Like
that's what I'm saying. Is it back money?
I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's a lot of issues. You know, I'm not here to badmouth none of them. You know what I mean? Because it ain't really got nothing to do with the woo. It's really more the business people, the owners. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna say that, you know, so they innocent. But yeah, it got a lot to do with a lot of things. You know what I mean? Especially paper, because at the end of the day, I work hard for my paper, and I know that I'm gonna deliver, and I'm gonna make sure that everything that I'm supposed to do, I'm gonna do. You know, I don't want to be led in a situation where it's like, yo, things are raggedy, and I can't voice my opinion, you know what I mean, in the greatest way, and at the same time respect you as a man.
Well, weren't you guys on tour? Like, you seen each other every day? I thought y'all were on the road. I thought things were good. You know what I mean?
We always gonna be good, and you know what I mean. We always gonna be good. You know what I mean? As a family, like, we no different from no other family,
right? You
know, but when it come down to business, we gotta look each other in the face like real businessmen and be like, you know, let's negotiate. Let's make it make sense, but don't use the flagship to be like I'm going against the grain, because I'm not. Anything I do is always the W.
Right.
Now, creatively, there's 9 members in Wu-Tang. So when you guys do verses for a song, is it sometimes that you expect your verse is going to be on a song and it's not there? Who makes those decisions?
I mean, you know, of course, RZA is always going to be the lead dude when it comes to the group's movement. You know, but at the end of the day, it's all about making music. If I come in and I do something that's great, you know what I mean? I do something that's great. But if the next man do it, I don't got to be on that record. It ain't all about all of us being on the record anyway.
Right.
We always said that. Like, you know, when we first came, you had a couple of cats on this, you had a couple of cats on that, and that's what it was. It wasn't never like, yo, this is planned out, you know? We always want to give the fans something that they could feel is authentic, but at the same time, it's like music just got to be made organically.
Right, who are you the coolest with in the Wu? Who do you speak to all the time? Your brother that you could talk to for advice.
I talk to Ghost a lot.
You should have told Ghost not to do couples therapy, man.
And that leads to couples therapy.
That's my favorite MC of all time. I cannot stand to see him on that show.
Do you watch
show,
couples
man.
therapy? Have you watched him on it?
Yeah, I watched it.
I have to say, it's very consistent with his character, though, certain things that he does on there, because I feel like the woman that he brought on the show that he's dating, I don't think Ghost lied about anything. I mean, he's always upfront. He's been seeing other women. She knew that. You know, it's not like he wasn't straight up.
Yeah.
I just don't like seeing him in rehab. Like, it's like they got him
It's
in
not
captivity.
rehab.
That's what it is. It's couples therapy. It's
But
like,
you know what it is, though? In his eyes, it's like it's an opportunity to still be heard and seen.
Right.
You know, he having fun. You know, he getting a lot of money. You know,
That's who everybody watches the show for.
you know, some guys would do that. You know what I mean? Like, would I do it? Nah, I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? You better come in with a big garbage bag.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then
Like,
maybe.
really, because you know that's how
Right.
I'm gonna play.
Right.
You know, but it's still business. Like, you know, he got to be heard and seen. Maybe he was looking at it like, yo, that would transition into him. You know,
Getting his
the
own.
new generation looking
Right.
at him like, okay, you know, because it's hard for us still. You know, for some of us.
but they're not
to still
respecting him
be
for the
relevant.
darts, though. They're respecting him for this character they see on couples
Yeah,
therapy.
but it's a tool. Like, you know, when you build a brand, you gotta branch out in your brand in the best way that you feel is helping you. You know, if somebody come up to you with a bag of money and they saying, yo, I need 3 weeks of you. You know what I mean? And the money is what it is, and you know, you feel like at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep it a buck anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you said, he did come up there and he stood for what he stood for.
He had 2 girls
You know,
on there.
he
Nobody
was-
ever did that on
you
couples
could tell
therapy.
he was emotional, you know what I mean? Because when I talk to him, because you know me, I'm always laughing about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, you ill, you know? But that's Starks. He wanted to do it.
And I feel like Ghostface is a very emotional artist anyway. Even in his lyrics and everything that he does is all very,
And
you
he a
know.
lover boy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? He a lover boy. Like, you know, maybe he felt like that was something he needed to do, was get a opinion on his, how he moved with his relationships.
Now, last time you came up here, you had said that you moved to Toronto and you had your business starting there and you were doing a label out there. And I came out there, I met JD Era, who was your artist and everything. So what's going on with that situation in Canada?
It's always about them just, really impressing me more, you know? I know how hard it is as an artist, a new artist, to really get on, and, it's all about the numbers, you know what I mean? It's all about what you're doing, what kind of moves you making, you know what I mean? I'm giving you what you want, now you got to show me, go get that, go make that red phone go off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So until then, there's nothing to really talk about. You know what I mean?
So they got to
you
get themselves out.
Yeah, you gotta make it
pop.
poppin'. I'm always gonna be there to help, but I can't hold hands though. You know what I mean? Because I'm still dancing in this thing right here, and I can't be thrown off. I gotta know that you really want it. So
Now,
they in the studio building up more stuff.
What about your solo project? I know you had a lot of success independent route. I mean, you made a lot of money on that not the last album, the album before that. Made
Only
a lot
built
of
for
bread.
Cuban links, too.
Yeah, I mean,
You made a lot of money on that
it's
independent.
difficult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's still difficult. Like, you make money, you lose money. I was happy with the results. I mean, of course, these distributors they've been good to me, but it's still a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I caught a lawsuit. You know what I mean? It was under
Lawsuit for what?
Or behind a sample or something?
Yeah,
What, that the Wu Mascot album or the Only Built for Cuban
Nah,
links?
on the Cuban too.
Okay.
They, it was something that they wanted, and they felt like I ain't respected, so they went at me.
Was the Wu went at you or no, somebody else?
Nah,
Somebody else?
the samples.
Okay.
Sample people.
You were having some issues with this new album you have in May, you said, with samples and appearances.
Yeah. Well, right now, Fly International is done right now. It's done. I just gotta do a couple of things with a few artists and make sure these agreements is correct. Because I got an all-star cast on this. I wanted to have fun on this album. I wanted to paint my own picture. I feel like I'm at my best lyrically. I went and got some international cats.
Who's on the album?
You know, I got Khan on the album. I never worked with him before.
Akon,
You know, I got Snoop on the album, which I got Snoop at a fast tempo that
Snoop Lion or Snoop?
Snoop. You know what I mean? I respect them all though, but yeah, Snoop showed up. You know what I mean? You know, of course, a couple of more cats that I want everybody to be surprised with.
Yeah,
Schoolboy Q was up here. He said he ran into you in the elevator.
Yeah.
Snatched you up for his album.
Yeah. We was in a dream one day, and I was coming in the hotel, and I seen him, and we acknowledged each other. You know, I try to keep, you know, on point with some of these cats that's doing their thing.
Are you ever surprised by the reception you get from these young cats? Like the way they you know, how they really look up to you? I mean, you are an icon, but they really look up to you on that level and want to work with you and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm humble, man. You know, I rap with everybody. You know, once you acknowledge me or I acknowledge you, I ain't never was a dude to be afraid to be like, yo, what's up? How you doing? I like you. I like what you doing. Because my thing is, you know, I respect all these MCs out here doing their thing because they didn't have to go out there and really do what we did. You know what I mean? So it's like me paying the way for you to be here, but still seeing you building your own cloak, your own movement, you know, and running with that. I like that. I like that in cats. I don't care. You know, you could be the most streetest dude, you know, but if you on top of your business and you making moves, I respect it automatically.
Now you had the internet going crazy, and everybody was assuming when you took a picture with Jay-Z that you guys were in the studio working on a record together. So what happened that night? I guess no record because he's not on the album.
I mean, you know, I think Hov wanted Ghost on the album too. You know, I guess in his mind he had a vision. You know what I mean? Of having
For the Heaven record, wasn't it?
You know, yeah. And,
I knew it.
That would have been crazy.
When I heard Heaven, I was like, this sounds like a Wu-Tang record.
Yeah, you know, Hov had a vision. I guess at the end of the day, he was like, damn, I can't get both of them. You know what I mean?
So did you lay your verse?
Yeah, I threw a dart. You know what I mean?
For the Heaven,
I threw a dart. Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
I threw something though. You know, it was an overnight joint, but it was a good one. You know.
How was
Where was
working
Ghost
with
at? Why
Hov?
Ghost
How was that session?
Ghost was Ghost.
He was Ghost. That's what
Ghost. You know what I mean? That's who he is. He
I've
was
been waiting
Ghost,
for a
so
collaboration from y'all since y'all was in the Do It Again video with the Manx on. Yeah.
Don't worry, we're gonna start flashing again. You know, flying international, luxurious art.
And what about the Wu-Tang Forever song that Drake did? What were your thoughts on that? You thought it was a hot record? I know he was trying to get everybody to come and be on the album.
You never got on the remix either.
Nah. I was out of it. They must have went in the studio and did it probably like 4 a.m. that night. You know, we was on the road too.
Right.
So you know, it was a lot of pressure to get it done. And you know, we was listening to the beat. You know, I wasn't crazy over the beat. I told Drake could have came with something.
That beat did not represent Wu-Tang at all.
You know, so you know, I was 50-50 with the record. You know, and when it was time for them to make a move and say, "Yo, we going to do the joint," it was like, I ain't really trying to go right now.
I'm not that
You know,
enthusiastic.
plus I was tired too. You know, I would have did it out of respect because you know I talked to homie. I like him. You know. He's a new cat in the game. Like you wouldn't want to really just tell him no, you know. But I just missed the boat that day. You know what I mean?
Is there an official remix? They said it was an official Wu remix.
Yeah, I mean, that's so.
He's like,
He just ran on it.
There's a
Word, the chef wish he was on it, but you know, I catch him out there one day.
I'd love to hear that Jay Raekwon record though.
Heaven was crazy.
I remember.
I want to hear
I
Ghost
love
on it
that
too, though.
record.
So how do you feel like you said 20 years later? You know, of course, RZA was the architect of the Wu, but now if he does a record like A Better Tomorrow, he's got all the joints, and he's just like, all right, come through and lay some verses. Like that don't feel like you're involved in the creative process all the way.
I mean,
It's like a
you
RZA
know, it's
album with
business.
features.
I mean, you know, when I think about all of this, I think about the fans, what they saying and how they look at it. You know, it all make me laugh, but then at the same time, it's real to me too on their opinion. And it all born down to, yo, we men, man. You know, we got to make sure that we do deals correctly. You know what I mean? Like, this is something big to me. You know, the album, the Wu album. I would never want to walk away from the Wu album, B. You know what I mean? But at the same token, we got to do it in the most respectful way, man.
Would you want to be in the studio every day, like start from scratch?
course.
Like, yeah, okay.
Would you guys do
Of
something again
course.
like you did for the
And
the
see,
W
that's another
album?
thing. And see, that's another thing. Like, you know, when you building something at that level, it has to be done with the right intention. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right
Like, you
mind
can't
frame
just
and all that.
make it and just think that automatically. Like, we not them type of dudes. when y'all listen to us, y'all look for something in our music.
Right.
You know, it might be something on there that you be like, yo, it's gonna take me in somewhere outside of what I want to be at, but I love how they create. You know what I mean?
Would you do something like when you guys had the Wu Mansion and you all lived there and stayed there and worked on the album?
Of course. I mean, that's the only way, man. That's the only way. But, you know, if you over here doing this and nobody taking away from what you got to do, but if you doing that and then you saying you want to do this, but you ain't over here for this, and
Right.
where we going?
Yeah.
You know, but it's always like that with groups, man. You know what I mean? Where, you know, you just got to make everything make sense. I just want everything to be official, man.
That'd be a nice documentary.
You know what I mean?
Everybody living in the house together again, working on a
I
new
love
album.
all my brothers, man, for real, man. But, you know, I do this for my family too, man.
For new artists out there, because you know we seen, of course, the TLC movie and them pretty much getting raped from their record company, and I'm sure with you, I'm sure if you had to do it over, you would sign a different deal. What would you advise a new artist out there if they're looking for a record deal? You know, what would you advise them to do?
Good question. I like that. What I would do, man, is just tell them to pay attention and, you know, and make sacrifices. You know what I mean? Like, you know, to get on is hard. You know, number one. You know, so always come in with a humble attitude and show a cat that you're a worker.
Right.
You know what I mean? You gotta be a worker first. You gotta be a soldier, man. You know what I mean? Male, female, however it go. In order to be a general, you still gotta be a soldier.
Right.
So come in and play your role and impress. You know what I mean? Meet the standards of showing everybody you about it. So dudes could say, like, you see a lot of these young cats coming in, they know what they doing. They focus. And that's what it is. Just come in and play your role, and whatever you want to agree to is what you want to agree to. Make it make sense for your life. You know, sometimes they say you got to take 2 steps back to come in 6.
That's true.
You know, do that. You know, everybody got to start at a certain level. See, a lot of times cats think that, you know, yo, I could come in and I'm worth this because my man told me I'm nice. It's like, no, you're not nice like that. You're not nice like that. You know, where you going to come in and you just going to, you know, demand because it's still a gamble. You know what I mean? It's still a gamble, man.
You still got to go through the process.
Gotta go through
What about merchandising? Because it's like, I was out in L.A., man, it seemed like every kid had on a Wu-Tang shirt. And I see Wu-Tang shirts in the mall. Like, do y'all eat off
It's
the
like, yeah,
merchandising?
they're bringing it back and they have all kinds of deals.
I don't eat off the merchandise, you know. That's another story, you know what I mean? But
that's crazy.
Somebody
Because
told
they
me,
built the brand together.
Yeah, they told me Power owns all of the rights to the merchandise.
I mean, you know, between him and, you know, he's one of the owners.
Right.
You know, in his eyes, that he feels that he's doing what he's doing.
But I remember when Wu Wear first started, you guys all put up a certain amount of money to invest into Wu Wear. So I would figure, since you guys all invested, that means you all own a part of it. And since you are all part of Wu-Tang, I mean...
You figured wrong, I guess, Yee.
Word up.
I just always thought if anybody would be bigger than the money, it would be Wu-Tang. I never thought money would be an issue with y'all. Like Ghost said, my seeds marry his seeds, grow with his seeds. That's how we keep Wu-Tang money all up in the family. What happened to that?
I mean, we still family, man. I mean, you know, we just a discouraged family. We a family that, you know, live on certain beliefs, you know, like loyalty is everything. You know, that's my thing, you know. Like no matter however I feel about RZA, I still say to myself, yo, brought me out the hood though, you know what I mean? And you know, where I was headed at that time, you know, I could never take that back to, you know what I mean? I can't take it back. It's like we here, he has something to do with it, so I'm never at the point where I hate you, B.
Yeah.
You know, hate ain't even my word. You know, I may not like a lot of things that they do, you know, and I'm tired of coming around and, you know, arguing and, you know what I mean? I don't want to live like that no more, man, you know?
And families always have discrepancies over money anyway. Flesh,
I mean,
blood, and family.
you know,
it's true.
Look what Ron Osley was doing to the Osleys.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's his blood. You know, so in this business that we in, dealing with groups and, you know, all these things happen, man. All these things must come out. You know, and at the end of the day, the fans are innocent, man. Y'all innocent, but a real man or a real woman to know that, yo, you can't be mad at a dude knowing his worth and knowing how he want to be dealt with in business. Like, don't use that to your advantage on me because we came up together. You know what I mean? That card only go but so far.
Right.
You know, yo, blah, blah, blah. We started, man, we all made millions of dollars too. You know? But at the same token, it's like it don't stop. Like, you got to look at me For real, man. You gotta look at everything that I'm doing too.
So is it always an argument when y'all get around each other?
Nah, not at all. Nah, it's harmony, man. You know, the stage is a whole different thing. Like when we come out on stage, it's normal again. You know, it's never gonna be the same because ODB ain't there.
Right.
You know, and that's something I think about daily because he's a founder. You know, a lot of things back then Dirty would talk to me about, you know, even though he was a wild dude, he always, you know, he kept it 100 with me. Like Dirty would argue with everybody else in the crew, never argue with me. Maybe he felt like a lot of times I would just be right. Maybe look at it like, yo, you one of the first dudes I knew out of Wu. You know what I mean? All that started kicking in, and he always told me, like, you know, our business ain't comfortable for me, you know? And I want things to be right, you know? And until then, I can't be around it like that.
Right.
Is that
So
when
it's like, wow, you know, but he's seen what he's seen at that time, I guess.
Is that one of the reasons he moved over to Rockefeller at the time?
Nah, I guess when he moved over to Rockefeller, it was like he just came home. He was trying to get on.
Right.
You know, they had a check for him ready, you know? So, you know, nobody wasn't there for him that he felt from our side, you know, and even in that situation, it's like when Dirty went away, and this is word to Allah, this is everything I love. When we was making money, his portion was cut, B.
Right.
You hear me? It was cut. Shh. That go to him and his family. So when I know that we sitting around and we humble, we sitting around and we huddled up like this and we saying that's what it is. After that, I don't know what's going on. All I know is I played my part. Yeah.
Right.
You know, and
So when he come home wondering where his money at, you like, well, we put it away.
you feel me? It's
Right.
like what's going on for real. But
Right.
I'm not here to sit here to go investigate into that. You know, so when I hear things like, yo, Cats wasn't there for him or whatever, yo, we done went up there when Dirty was in HDM and, you know, performed for Cats before. Nobody don't remember that though.
Right.
You know, so I would never let anybody make me feel like we wasn't there for him. But when he came home as a man, he's entitled to his own decisions, you know? And if that's what he wanted to do, anything to make him happy, I was always down for. Like, let him be happy. That don't take away from who he is to us. You know, I didn't never look at it like, oh, yo, he's not going to be here. You know, but maybe he felt in his mind like, who was there for me, though?
Right.
He could feel like that.
Gotcha.
So how far, on a scale of 1 to 10, how far away are we from a Wu-Tang album, a real album? Not saying that Better Tomorrow couldn't be a real album, but a real, let's all sit together, Wu Mansion again, start from scratch and
Sounded
build
like a
this.
10.
It ain't happening.
Damn. 11.
It ain't like that, you know. Anything can happen, man. But it's the harmony, man, that I'm looking for, man. I'm looking to see that again, you know. It's not cool when you could look at your own brothers and be like, damn, I don't even know who you is no more.
Right.
You know. And the worst you want, the worst thing that could ever happen is y'all not even talking ever again.
Right.
You know, and that's something that I would never want to happen. You know, but in a line of business, I'm like an athlete too, man. You know, you sit down, you deal with them, you deal with the people that represent me, and looking at my RBIs and my net, and you know what I mean? Because in this business, you know, you only as strong as
Your team.
your team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Every man in the crew got his own team that everybody got to respect. You know, and I think that that's so important. You know, us in this time, you know, where we at.
Absolutely.
Now,
Well,
I wanted to ask you one more question. You had this song called Soundboy Killer with Melanie Fiona. It's kind of an ode to dance hall.
I want to
Yeah.
smash her so bad. She's so fly.
Wow.
Anyway, I didn't. Now, when I picture Raekwon listening to music, I think of you listening to, like, you know, the stylistics, old school R&B and soul music. Do you listen to reggae
everything, man.
music?
Listen to everything, of course. Come on,
I
I
never
grew up
heard-
with that, man. I grew up on that. You know, one thing about Staten Island, it's like it's a you know, it's a multicultural town. You know, it ain't that big, but where we was at, it was like the jungle, and you had all different from Africans, Dominicans, you know, Puerto Ricans. We all lived in that neighborhood, and everybody was just into something. So yeah, I remember being a young boy going to toga parties and all of that. You know what I mean? And Heinekens and all that. That's what made us grown, believe it or not. You know, we was just, you know, magnetized by that lifestyle.
Right.
But yeah, I grew up on all that, Sting and all that.
When you think about that time, you know, that golden era of hip hop, You know, when it was the Enter the 36 Chambers and the Only Built for Cuban Links at the Cow. What are your fondest memories of that time?
That was the golden era. Like, you know, we was just bringing something in the game that was influential. You know, and to me that was live. You know, for us to not only represent where we from and represent a city and make everybody else across the world get it. You know, them records, we was having fun. You know, we was still fresh off the block. You know, so it's like, oh, you know, signing autographs, like word. You know, we would be on the bus just writing graffiti, like learning how to do autographs. And yeah, I'm gonna write mine like this. I remember I would sit down and write like 100 times. You know, that was my job. So when they came, it was like, yeah, I got this. You know, it was fun times, man. And you know, it ain't really go nowhere, but it went somewhere, you know? You know, of course, we sit here and think about 20 years and be like, wow, it's 20 years. You know, for me, it's like it's 10.
Right.
You know, I feel like it's 10, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's 20.
I mean, you guys started, you had the Wu-Wear store back then. You had your offices. Yep. It wasn't a lot of groups doing it like that at all, period.
We was a team, you know? And, you know, I think that's the most important thing is that we got to get them nutrients back in our body on that level with us as a crew. And, you know, look at each man like, yo, you a man, you know what I mean? Gotta respect where he coming from. I gotta respect where, you know what I mean? You gotta respect where I'm coming from. Both parties gotta do that.
As the chef, what ingredients are missing in this era, you think? To make it another golden era like the one y'all helped build?
I think it's a lot of authenticity that still needs to be found. You know, cats could be more creative. You know, I think that right now today's music is just about, it's like a come and go thing. Like, you know, if it's hot at the moment, we gonna ride with it. But it ain't about, you know, it could graduate into something else. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's not. It's like everybody's doing the same thing, you know. And to me, it's like after a while, it gets regular.
It's like a formula people want to follow. It worked for this person, so we got to do that same formula.
Like for me, when I make albums, like I try not to come in thinking about hooks all the time, you know. And I know that's important to making them type of music, that type of record. You know, some records I want to just kill. I just want to just do 50 bars, you know, and make it feel like hip hop, like how I want it to feel, like when you get in the car or something, you know. So I tried to make this album right now, you know, to respect both sides and just throw paint over here, just you know what I mean? And it came out ill, but I just want to see dudes make albums again. You know, I believe that it's a lane for that, but you know, I want dudes to go back to the store, Envy. You know what I mean? I want them to go back, Charlamagne. I want you to go to the store and be like, yo, gotta go. I want to see the cover, everything. I want to read it. My name's up there. I got love. You know what I mean? It's like hip hop should be there, but it's so digital right now that you hear it. It's there. Yeah, give it 2 weeks. I'm off to it. You know, it ain't like that's
stretch.
Long too, right? You might get 4 days. Like, yeah, I hear you. All right, cool. You know, but everybody's in the party mode. You know, you go to the club is popping. You know, I think about that. You know, I wanted to be in the club too, so I had to go in my little grab bag and have something for that.
Yeah, you said you feel like this album's gonna appeal to.
Yeah, I made this album for everybody, you know, and still didn't lose my integrity as the person that y'all know me as. You know, you ain't gonna see the chef doing something that you could be like, nah, that's not him. You know, that's the only thing I ever fear is just for people to be like, nah, that's not him. You know, because I'm never gonna reach like all the way over the table. You know, I'm gonna pay attention because you have to know what's going on.
Well, we appreciate you joining us.
That's what it is.
The new album, Fila, Fly International Luxurious
Fly International Luxury Art, luxurious.
April.
April, you know, something like that.
And stay humble.
Not April. Excuse me. Not April. You know, I can't call it.
Okay.
Like, I can't call it. I ain't gonna start. I ain't
Right.
gonna start calling it like that.
But stay humble, man. That's one thing I love about you, Ray. No matter where you at, you always humble. You always come through. You always show love, and
all the time.
I respect that and appreciate
I'm
it
listening,
about you.
You know, I'm listening to y'all, and I'm listening to opinions. You know, and you know, y'all sit down and rap about real things. Like, I respect the combination factor. You know, don't stop being who you are. You know what I mean? Don't stop being who you are, and of course, don't stop being who you are.
All right, it's Raekwon. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.